Hello, my name is Meredith and I work in the Office of Leadership and Engagement. You are currently viewing the training recording on marketing and social media. Before we get too far into this, I want to provide some brief definitions just in case this subject matter doesn't apply to your major. So, marketing is defined as the activity or business of promoting an organization's products or services. While this may not directly relate to most of club activities, there are some comparisons that we can make. So, for example, when we're talking about a student organization's product, we might actually be referring to its reputation or what it means to join your org. And then for services, we might actually be trying to describe what your organization does, what happens in the meetings, how often are the meetings happening, do y'all volunteer, what events do you put on, those types of things. And then additionally, we will spend some of this training today going over social media. And this is just one of many tools for marketing that is really popular right now, and it involves the creation and sharing of content on social networking websites. We're going to start with marketing for student organizations at NAU. When we think about marketing, it's important that we begin with building your brand, both as a student organization at NAU broadly and your specific organization. So there are going to be some brand elements that are shared amongst all student organizations at NAU, and I'll discuss them a little bit more on this slide. However, even beyond that, you want to be thinking about what brand, what image, what reputation are you trying to build and then share with both the NAU community and the Flagstaff community and, the national or worldwide communities as well. So all of the organizations at NAU will have these following things shared and in common because they are either required or recommended from NAU. And this first thing is NAU student organization logo. So we have a few of them on the right here. And instead of using the general NAU logo, this one now clearly labels that you are a student organization. And the reason for this goes into that second bullet point. No organization can imply that it is functioning on behalf of NAU. So what that means in more simple terms is that just because a student organization holds a belief or is putting on an event, that those beliefs or those events are representative of the student organization's opinions, not NAU broadly. And on top of these new student organization logos, we do also have very specific logos if you are in Greek life, just so you know. If NAU is in the title of your student organization anywhere, you are now required to use these new logo on your marketing materials, just so it's clear. If you're a little confused about what you'd like your student organization to mean and to represent through their brand, it might help you to ask this question. What does your organization represent? And we'll go into a few categories of this. Beyond registered status at NAU that I had to go over with all those regulations, each club, organization, and chapter has a very unique presence on campus that can be defined by the emotions that they bring out, the memories that they hold, and the recognition they have. When we're talking about emotion, we'll be thinking about the mission or purpose statements of your organization and any current goals you have. This might indicate if you're a positive organization or a action-oriented organization, or if you're service-oriented, these types of things, and the feelings of gratitude, happiness, fun, what have you that they might bring out. When we're talking about memory, we might be thinking about the history of your organization. How long have you been at NAU? How long have you been in existence at all? Are there older photos and events that you've held, recent or very, very traditional? This might include any private traditions you have, what your induction ceremony does, and knowing that each generation of your org has done the same thing. Could include previous presence on social media or in TrueBlue Connects, and any past goals. What has your organization achieved? And these all kind of tie together, but this last recognition piece is a little bit more about, what affiliations have you developed nationally in your community? What traditions are the public aware of and grateful for? Do you always collect donations at a certain time of the year? If you have any memorable logo or merchandise apparel, that will also go under here. Oh, that's the club that always wears pink shirts. And that's how you're recognized and known on campus. Talking about apparel with a student organization name or logo on it requires that we then discuss the NAU logo and trademark policies. There's a lot of jargon in this section that I'm going to try to do my best to summarize the best I can, but if you have any questions at all, I did put the contact information for the department in charge of this. You can either email them at licensing@nau.edu, or you can click that link and fill out a contact form. So trademark and service marks are the names, words, symbols, phrases, letters, number designs, colors, or combination thereof that can clarify the origin of products or services and that limit or prohibit the usage of identifying marks. So a lot of what this will be discussing are NAU official logo and trademarks for the university. Student organizations will need to obtain permission from the Office of Trademarks and Licensing prior to the production of the materials. These approval requests will require the licensed vendor name, the designer art, the intended use, and contact information for them to follow up with additional questions. Do note that if you are a recognized sports club, there are additional branding guidelines for you that you can discuss more with Campus Rec. I've included 2 links on here. One, the officially licensed vendors list. This includes all of the vendors that are approved and contracted with the university. So if you're trying to buy a t-shirt, you would need to pick a vendor that sells t-shirts on this list. Additionally, there's a brand identity guide that goes into a lot of detail about these types of things if you're still a little confused. It also describes when these policies are required. So it's when you're trying to use a logo or trademark for NAU on any apparel, novelties, or giveaway items. Differently though, prints won't go through this department. That'll actually go through NAU Printing Services. Do note that sometimes royalty rates may apply, and a royalty is where a percentage of sales will go to NAU for using their logo or trademark. On documents, you may want to include the official disclaimer, which is the words Northern Arizona University, and the identifying marks used on this document are official trademarks of Northern Arizona University and may not be reproduced without express permission from the university. Additionally, NAU athletics logos will not be given permission to use in any setting. So another piece of marketing isn't just marketing what your organization is, it's also about marketing the events you're trying to hold either on campus or off campus. And so I want to pose the question to you, and maybe you even want to pause this part of the video. How do you hear about events at NAU? Do you see it on a bulletin board? Do you stop at the tabling? Do you see shirts around campus and that's what gets you intrigued? When you think about this, you're also going to be realizing that if you're, as a student, seeing the event in this way, it'll probably be an effective way to market your event to other students. So thank you for pausing if you did. I now want to go over the options for getting the word out about your org or its events. So first we have tabling. You can do this anywhere at NAU, inside or outside, or you can attend official tabling events like our club fairs in the fall and the spring. Another option are collaborations with other clubs and orgs or departments on campus, which can be really powerful as you're tapping into a new student population that may not have heard about your org. Additionally, a lot of clubs and orgs create flyers and posters and post them into approved locations on campus. You can contact unions at nau.edu to coordinate physically dropping off flyers for either the DUB or the University Union. But if you're trying to get into any other building, those flyers will need to be approved by the building manager. And these individuals are often located in the management offices in various colleges or departments. Flyers cannot be posted on poles, pillars, or any walls, and posters should never be put up in a way that causes chipping or damage to the walls. Additionally, at the High Pines Award ceremony each spring, we do have an award specifically for Flyer of the Year. So as soon as that application opens, make sure you're submitting your best flyers and posters to try to get that award. Next is presentations. You can have these in classes, in the community, and other clubs, and you just need to be making sure you're getting permission from whichever community affiliation you're working with, the professors or presidents of orgs. You can also network at similar events and let them know that, hey, you're interested in this, you might also be interested in this org or this event. If you're working with departments or offices, you might be able to send out mass emails to students. And we also have the NA review. And what's really cool about this opportunity is whenever we see a club or org highlighted in our NAU review, we also might post it in our Get Involved lounge and post it up, frame it on the wall. We're very proud of orgs that make it there. Don't underestimate the power of word of mouth. You know, talk to your friends of, have you heard about this club? Have you heard about these events? And that can be a really useful tool of getting your org out and spread around campus, especially that positive reputation. Additionally, when you're getting your events approved in TrueBlue Connects, it is getting automatically added to the TBC calendar. So it's another way that you're getting the word out. Next, I'm going over some best practices. So keep graphics simple but eye-catching. And if you need any support with your graphics, there are actually graphic designers in NAU that can help clubs make flyers and market their events. You can contact them directly or visit their webpage, nau.edu/asnau, to learn more information about that. Add logos for credibility as appropriate. And remember that you are always representing your organization. In the next slide, we'll go over more details on accessibility. Finally, there are some clear limitations on campus about how you can recruit and market yourselves. So one, there is no chalking, there is no window paint, there are no hazing activities allowed, and it cannot disrupt sponsored or official university functions. However, as long as you get NAU permission explicitly, you could get amplified sound at your events or put up permanent structures. But if you don't have that permission, it would fall under that not allowed category. When marketing events at NAU, we want to make sure that every single student on campus can properly read and understand the marketing materials that you're providing. One important tool that you can use is that color contrast checker. What's really cool about the one I linked, you can actually eyedrop and click into a different window on your computer and really color match appropriately to make sure, is that contrast appropriate? Will people with visual impairments be able to see everything on your flyers? Don't forget when you're using a QR code to include a web page link. Not everybody has a cellular device, even if a lot of students do. And to better serve screen readers, make sure you're writing words linearly down flyers and posters. If you have multiple sections on different parts, it can sometimes read the words out of order and be really hard for hearing impaired individuals. While this is a good thing, I also included this quote that shows that it is also, in some ways, a requirement and a responsibility that we are appropriately serving all students at NAU. I'm going to go quickly through this slide because I was just having some fun. I wanted to say that marketing isn't just boring. It's not just making a flyer. It's not just, putting a banner in the Union. There's a lot of different asymmetrical, bold, different, and unique ways to market your events and your clubs. Branded treats, getting a large visible sign, personalized invitations where you're writing each one, wearing a costume around campus like an inflatable T-Rex, and maybe passing around an inflatable globe with stickers and having people put a sticker on every dream destination they have if that relates to your club mission. There's other things too, like having an animal ambassador. On your social media, put your club merch on officers or members' pets. And you can also highlight guests through video messages, headshots, or maybe even a giant sign of their face. Why not? If you're trying to do only online, you can create a video that's like a behind the scenes or a movie trailer, or maybe you can learn how to create a custom GIF. That would be fun. Beyond doing, novel marketing strategies and thinking about your brand, it can be really helpful to develop a marketing strategy. And it's not difficult to do. While this can be something you've never done before, it can be really helpful and really simple to include in officer executive meetings. You can ask questions like, what are your target members? Who is your audience? How much are you investing into your marketing campaign? And then you can go ahead and measure through foot traffic, meeting or event attendance, how many followers or likes do you have on your social medias? This can be helpful because when you have concrete numbers, you can make realistic goals of how to increase those numbers. Okay, well, we're trying to get 5 more people to be at our tabling event next time. What we found is when students focus too much on the short term, they can lack planning, execution, and achieving goals for marketing. To help with developing marketing strategies, some organizations find it helpful to have specific marketing roles in the executive team or creating new executive officers to hold certain roles for marketing. So, for example, a treasurer might be in charge of creating the marketing budget, exploring advertisement options, or purchasing those marketing materials. You might have a designer or a creator that specifically creates those online and offline posts, flyers, PowerPoints, etc. They'll be the ones that have to research content and privacy laws and understanding regulations regarding freedom of expression. And then you may have a marketer-specific role, or a student ambassador, or a social media marketer, or an email marketer, which can be more specific. They'll be the people in charge of drafting emails, plan posting and emailing schedules, and keeping online security up to date. These are just some suggestions that can help making marketing strategies a little bit more manageable, so it's not just one person in charge of all of these different aspects of marketing. Next, we're going to go over student organization, social media. Another word for this can be digital marketing. So different clubs, orgs, and chapters on campus have different accounts. Some have Facebook pages or Facebook groups. Some have Twitter accounts, now called X. Some have Instagram accounts, LinkedIn accounts, YouTube accounts. These would all be considered when thinking about digital marketing. I have linked the social media policy and guidebook in these PowerPoints. So there are some specific regulations of how should students, organizations, departments, etc. be handling social media when they're representing themselves and things like that. Do note that due to the new marketing policies, there are now acceptable social media account names. Names should be Club at Northern Arizona University or Club at NAU. Those are approved, but it can no longer start with NAU or Northern Arizona University. Some other online methods include posting Facebook events, using messaging applications like Discord, GroupMe, WhatsApp. Maybe your organization should consider posting ads on social media. And sometimes there's a fee associated with that, but maybe it's worth it. And then if you happen to know an on-campus influencer, ask them for help. Post on their pages and get their follower count to help you out. If you're a new officer that has never really handled a professional personal account, and this may be your first time holding like an organization account, we do have some best practices listed here. For one, you can get more credibility by registering your social media on the social media directory. You will need to have your advisor signed on as part of this too. But if students are looking for, how do I know which one's affiliated with the university, this directory would help you out. Make sure you're advertising your handles at meetings or events, so that way people can follow you and like your posts. You can use hashtags and location tags to attract more viewers. It's really important to be active and interactive on accounts. So don't let a comment not get responded to, and make sure that you are posting regularly so people don't forget about your account. Some ways to do this include hosting giveaways and takeovers, following other accounts, and commenting on posts. Comment on your own, comment on others, establish a more active environment. Be sure to post consistently to establish credibility. And post often, but don't spam people, because if you spam them, they're more likely to unfollow you. Be aware of the NAU culture. What's going on with other school events? How can you represent and make sure you're not spamming people too much during like homecoming week, for example? Double check that information is accurate, since this is representing your organization. Take advantage of other social media opportunities. There are some official takeovers through NAU, like the NAU Social or our NAU Get Involved, and there are ways to apply to do a takeover on one of these accounts. Create shareable content, so people are like, retweet. You can highlight alumni, you can post event teasers, and there's a lot of different fun things you can do there. Don't forget to diversify your content. Have both videos and reels, posts and infographics, stories, etc. And then also evaluate permanent aspects of social media pages, like your pinned stories on Instagram, and make sure those are up to date for your org. Don't forget hashtags. So here is a list of all of the hashtags that NAU supports, or at least some of them, that include like classic, school spirit, alumni, day-to-day of a lumberjack, when times are tough, things like that. But you should also consider creating your own hashtag for either your organization or a specific event. We understand that we covered a lot of information today. So if you're feeling overwhelmed about any aspect of this, you can consider scheduling a meeting with the NAU Social, and they'll be able to provide additional training and best practices. So I have their email, their phone number, their webpage, and their meeting link, so you can get on their schedules. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please reach out to studentorgs@nau.edu, and/or you can schedule a meeting with the staff from the Office of Leadership and Engagement. Don't forget that we are here to support you.